Just a quick plug before the video starts. Go to durianrider.com if you're interested in $40 jerseys. There's a couple left that did sell out. I apologize for that. We've got more coming down the track. My 2 ebooks, Carb the Fuck Up and Durian Rider's Lean Body Bible. The best ebooks if you want to get seriously lean and live a seriously simple, basic, digital nomad lifestyle and save a shit ton of money, earn great money, meet cool people, inspire people, and getting the best results you've ever could imagine in your life. Go to durianrider.com, get my latest ebooks, game changers, guaranteed. Okay, let's talk about vitamin B12. Let's talk about that. Let's show my most recent B12 blood values. There's a test there. And if anyone says, oh, your tests are fake, hey, let's put $100,000 in it that they're real. And we'll go to any clinic, anytime, and go retest them. If anyone who says they're fake. So yeah, put your money where your mouth is. That's the thing with haters. People talk a lot, but once you say come and do a live debate or just do a live test or do a real report or whatever, they're like, oh, no. So anyway, my B12 last test was from January this year, a few weeks ago, 839, so above range. I like to have my B12 above normal, high end. In Australia, the minimum cutoff is 150. In Japan, it's 550. So you can have a raging deficiency in Australia, and your doctor will not mention it at all. Your level might be 500 in Australia. Oh, that's pretty good. In Japan, they're like, you're B12 deficient. We highly recommend you do B12 shots today, right now. So that's why people have so much raging B12 deficiency in Australia. 1, it's not even tested for. 2, if you are tested, you're lucky your doctor's clued up. And even then, third thing is finding a doctor who actually understands what an optimum B12 level is for humans. You know, so many people out there suffer needlessly with depression, psychosis, all sorts of mental health issues simply because they have low B12. I know a cyclist guy. I was talking a few weeks ago, and he said, man, he says I was suicidal. And since doing the B12 shots, his times on the climbs are insane. He used to have chronic fatigue, and it's just lifted. So, you know, there's a lot said for B12 deficiency. And I've seen a lot of cyclists, man. A lot of cyclists need to do B12 injections. I don't care what diet you eat. And this guy who said he was suicidal, etc., he wasn't a vegan. You know, so, and I've met a lot of people over the last 20 years, you know, with what I would look back as is raging B12 deficiency. But because it's not really talked about in society that much, people are just like, oh, you just got depression or whatever, or too much coffee or whatever. And obviously those things have a factor, but let's take care of something really important here. So B12, these are $15 in Australia. They come in a packet of 3. Obviously I don't sell them. You get these from your local pharmacy. You don't need a doctor's prescription in Australia because it's just a vitamin, over-the-counter vitamin, just like doing vitamin C. And you keep these in your fridge. I've got one left in there. I do one about every month or so. And it's just because I'm an athlete and I like to feel really fucking good naturally. So doing vitamin like B12 is part of my program. In terms of administering that, just use insulin needles, which again you can get from any pharmacy. And it's just an insulin needle, boom, straight into the deltoid. So it's like so simple. It's a 30-second procedure, you know what I mean? And I've seen people suffer metabolically. People, you know, having fat issues on their body, excess fat, can't shift it, do B12 injections within like weeks to months, just leaning out, doing everything really good, but just having that B12 deficiency. You can't really burn much fat if you're B12 deficient. You'll never, ever, ever reach optimum body fat percentage. Why? Because you'll be anemic. And if you're anemic, you can never really be your best self. You won't have the energy you truly need in your body. Everybody's different in that aspect of, you know, I should say everyone's different, but some people can run quite a low B12 and be okay. And some people need a lot more. You know, the only way to find out is to do some injections and find out what works for you. But everybody needs it. You know, I haven't seen anyone have any issues from these. The worst issue I've seen was just after the injection, it's a little bit of a lump for 30 seconds or 10 minutes or whatever. It's like a little egg on your arm, but that goes away. And it's fine. You know, I remember one time I had a pimple on my chin. Oh my God, I had a pimple on my chin from B12 shot. Oh my God, call get Kim Kardashian, get Kylie Jenner on the line. I need help. Fucking hell, some narcissists out there. So that there's such a, it's just a vitamin. It's a water-soluble vitamin. There's not even a lethal dose of B12 as far as I know. So, yeah. Once a month is all I recommend for maintenance for me, for most athletes. Do your own homework. Do your own research. Don't rely on your doctor for everything in your life. Doctors do some great stuff. If I have an accident, I'm going straight to hospital. I'm not going to try and bush repair it myself. I'm going to go straight to hospital. But if I have some sort of metabolic issue, or let's say I was obese, etc., I wouldn't go to my doctor for health advice. I'm not going to get some blood tests done and do my own homework from. But if you go to your doctor, the doctor's going to go, you eat your meat, drink your milk for calcium, and your B12, if you eat meat, you'll be okay. And you don't need to take a... The doctor I got these tests from, friendly doctor. I'm just getting paid a lot, but dude was smoking cigarettes in between. The dude was like, I know this dude was on low carb or whatever, so spaced out. I was waiting there for 3 hours. Literally 3 hours in the waiting room. I had my phone, I was doing work, but I was away for 3 hours. And he's like, I'll 10 minute total space going in and out of the car park smoking cigarettes. Super polite to me, but smoking cigarettes, and he's the doctor, and just like, how many medications he was on, I don't know, and that goes for most doctors out there. Most doctors aren't in good health. They are not in good shape. They went to university for many years, worked hard at uni, got that doctorate, and now they just push pills and scripts, and that's pretty much all they do. And that's all that most people want from the doctor. Most people don't want to take responsibility. They want to employ someone else. Oh, you take care of that. You take care of that. I knew a guy with, clear, in my opinion, Parkinson's and Alzheimer's symptoms. Shaky hands, quite forgetful. And I said to his daughter, he's probably maybe 70 or 80 or so, I said, you get your dad on B12 shots. Oh, doctor's fine with that. No, the doctor says we will. Otherwise, no, Harley, thank you. And this person's a lawyer, and once you're dealing with lawyers or doctors or accountants or super, schwanky professionals, that ego, the bigotry, the arrogance is very strong. So to penetrate that, unless you're above them in some sort of professionalism, is almost impossible. So these professional people suffer through their arrogance or their bigotry and stuff like that. And I see it a lot. I see it in the cycling industry. I see it in running. I see it in the weight loss. I see it everywhere. People just suffering with their own elitism or their own laziness. I guess for me, it would be called laziness. And we hide behind perfectionism as an excuse so we don't have to take action on something. Even if our gut instinct goes, this is pretty simple, maybe I should try it. This is pretty fucking simple, man. This isn't hard to get. It's not hard to use. It's very cheap. It's very safe. But people, they want to go the naturopath. They want to spend fucking thousands of bucks. They want to gamble with their health. They want to live with depression and reduced metabolic efficiency just at the risk, just because they're scared of doing a B12 injection in the arm. It's a vitamin. But because it has this stigma attached of a little hypodermic, I can't do that unless my doctor says. It's like, fuck. So the limiting beliefs we have in society really holds us back. And I would say it's like a psychosis people have. If you're letting a stigma of a little vitamin injection prevent you from, leaps and bounds advantages in your life, that for me would be like a little psychosis. There's a little cat here, It's just like spiders, man. I've got so many spiders in my house. I've got a redback spider behind here, And people have this psychosis about spiders. They'll spray their house with cancer-causing chemicals. There'll be a spider in the car. They'll crash their car. What happened? You crashed your car. You killed someone. Oh, but there was a spider on the windscreen. Oh, okay then. It's like, what the fuck? The psychosis, basic psychosis as people have in society. It's crazy, but they're so common, and most people have them that we don't even pay attention to it because it's just like an overall insanity most people have. Just like smoking cigarettes on airplanes and in cafes used to be accepted. In workplaces, smoke a cigarette. Now, if you walk into a workplace, imagine if I walked in the bike store smoking a cigarette. They're like, what are you doing? You can't smoke in here, mate. But back in the 60s or 70s, you walk into a bike shop smoking a cigarette. Like, you got a light? So society is very slow to make things. There's even talking about, this is big. Streets putting vegan label on one of their ice creams, the Cornetto. I've been eating these since the 80s, and I haven't eaten. This will be my first cornetto today in almost 18 years. All right? The cornetto was like the ice cream you got as a kid on your birthday. It used to be like $1 or $2 back in the 80s. It was like the elite ice cream, the elite. And so now, 2019, you got the vegan cornetto. So I'll try some of these out. But yeah, it's so this B12 is not a vegan thing. It's not a vegan thing. It's a human thing. We live in such a sterile society where, people say, your house is messy. It's like, nature, bro. Nature, though, we live in such a sterile society. It's chlorine this, it's sprayed that. And yeah, hygiene's good. Personal hygiene's fantastic. But all the chemicals people use in their household, I don't use any floor cleaner chemicals. People are like, oh my God, that's disgusting. You want all those off-gassing fumes? I mean, there's enough pollution in society. Why bring it inside? I mean, everything here off-gasses. Why add in some household solvent cleaners to off-gas even more? Why contribute to the excess pollution that's already there? To me, it doesn't make any sense. So I'm all about pragmatic prevention. If anyone in your family member or yourself maybe suffer from depression or a sludgy metabolism where you just can't shift the weight, where your energy is really low, then do your homework. Maybe just try some B12 shots. Be your own doctor for a little bit. Take your own health as your own responsibility instead of palming it off to other people. Well, that's not my health. That's not my responsibility. That's someone else's responsibility. As adults, I believe that is our responsibility. But they call me OCD or whatever. I just like the best, and that's what I get. I don't settle for second best, especially when I got the best. Any B12 injection will work. Hydroxy, methylcobalamin, and cyanocobalamin, they all work. I've done them all. I've tested my blood before and after. They all raise serum B12 to levels, I noticed myself when I started doing B12 shots back in 2009. My fitness just went skyrocketing. I saw it with everybody I've ever coached. Got them on the B12, bang. Nobody who's coached by me has anemia or B12 deficiency. It is impossible. And I've seen cycling careers destroyed with anemia. I've literally seen that. People just training the house down, getting slower and slower and slower, and I'm just like, dude, do some B12 shots. Oh, no needles policy, man. No needles policy. And I'm like, what the fuck do you think they're doing in Europe? They're doing needles in the eyeballs. You know what I mean? Those cyclists out there who won't do B12 because they think it's doping and they want to be a pro. And I laugh because it's like, man, like, what are you thinking? Like, what do you think's going on in Europe? Or big races in the stress.